All right. Welcome back to the Soul Kitchen. It's your girl, Lisa Marshall. And we are continuing on our mix of swamp song. And this is straight up gumbo. Gumbo. Gumbo lives and dies on the roux. And in music, in this particular song, the roux is the rhythm section. If the drums and bass aren't cooked just right, nothing else matters. So let's take a listen to these drums. And by the way, I want you to know that these drums are recorded with one single dynamic microphone stuck in the middle of the drum set. Now remember, we are still mixing and we have just gotten started on the mix bus chains. We ended with drums yesterday. This is what we've got so far. And then we're going to continue dealing the deck, so to speak, with my new Stax-style mixing manual with graphs that give me exactly the settings that I used for my last mix that turned out pretty spectacular. So, check it out. So, hey, Steph. Hello, this world needs a hero. Welcome. So, let's listen to the drums soloed out, and I'm going to show you real quick. First of all, let me Steph, right on. Shit, this is dynamite. I love it. I love that. All right, so let me get my head shrunken up out of here so you can see my session. And trying to find me. Here we go. Let me shrink my head up. Uh-oh, too much. Ooh, look, and I'm looking the other way. Hey, we're just going to go with it. I don't know how I did that, but that's pretty fun. Look, I flipped around. I can see you. All right, so here is my session for Swamp Song, my Logic session. I have not updated my Logic yet. I'm scared to do it, to be honest, because I'm really comfortable with this one. And my little neurodivergent brain does not like change that much. Although I realize that there's probably going to be some fun new things in the new Logic. But anyway, I digress. Let me show you. This is what we're working off of. This is the exact mix chain manual that I've put together. And as you can see, it is very, very detailed here. Starting with the drum bus, I usually try to do top-down mixing in everything, right? And then really try not to touch, except for the drums, right? Because we have the kick bus, we have the snare bus, we have the hi-hat. Actually, this particular session, the hi-hat is running directly to the mix bus, but I try not to touch the individual channels much unless it needs something specifically. Steph, I told you it's too far away, and you won't like my idea of partying anymore. I don't drink. I don't do those things anymore. All right, I meant to get my phone on here too so I can also see the comments a lot easier. You don't care. I know. I suck. All right, so we're going to talk specifically about the drums and what I have done so far to these drums. And I'm really pleased how close they already sound like they belong in this song. So let me show you what we got here. So let me try to just put this over here and put this like this. All right. So you can see my drum bus is right here, right? And we started off with Waves J37 tape on the drum bus. We're using the formula 811, 15 IPS, bias +3, saturation 3 to 4. A little bit of wow, a little bit of flutter, right? And so what we're trying to do, and as you can see, I'm giving you descriptions of everything here too, right? I'm telling you why you're doing it. This is, I should say, look, I'm telling me why. This is now my new mix manual. I don't know about any other producers on here, but I have tinnitus. I have a little case of tinnitus, and so my ears get fatigued rather quickly. So I have taken time to put this together because I needed something where I could move very quickly without overthinking, because I tend to ruminate. And this has been, for me, a goddess send, because I used these settings in my last mix for Don't Give Up, and I gotta tell you, really turned out sounding like something that came out of the late 60s out of Atlantic Records, which in my opinion are some of the best mixed records ever. And Stax, kind of a married between the two. So what we did is we started with tape, right? We wanted to you want the drum stems to hit tape because that's what they use, right? They use 2-inch tape back in the day, and before console or compression. And this adds the glue, and it softens transients and glues the kit into one warm vibey unit. So let's take a listen to that. Actually, let me just keep going on this, and then we're going to take a listen. Next we did I used Waves NLS bus. I like their NLS bus and channel console because you get to choose between a few of them, right? You got Spike, Mike, and Nevo. Nevo being the 1073, my fave. Can't go wrong with it, in my opinion. And there are some subtle tone differences if you get this and mess around with it. And then next we do a little subtractive EQ. Nothing too major here, really just doing a high pass filter. I took a little bit out around the 4 to 5K range, just so it wouldn't be so bitey. Then next up we're using Waves 670, their Poetic Child 670. 670 compressor is my go-to across the board. Now, my mix bus, I use Universal Audio Fairchild 670, and because I'm actually using I'm using Universal Audio Apollo Twin to record through. But to save CPU on my particular computer, I find that using the Waves instead of Universal Audio helps that. Next up, we're doing a second compression, vintage VCA. We're just doing a little tiny bit on the drums here, and I'm using Logic's compressor. I love their range of compressors. You have so many to choose from up here. And then lastly, we're doing some tonal EQ, and you can see here I've boosted about 4.5 dB of 60 hertz, attenuated about 1.5, just to try to keep that nice and tight. And then I boosted a little bit around 10K, just to give the drums a little airy polish to kind of really pull the air out of the kick drum, right? And then you can see here I've got a chain for the kick drum, for the snare, and the hi-hat. And let's listen to it soloed real quick, because I am loving the kick drum and how it sounds. And again, this is, if anybody's ever made gumbo, which I have not, but my dad makes it a lot. And I had a friend who tried to make his recipe one time, and the roux is the all-important glue of the whole soup. Here you go. That's not bad considering nothing is balanced at the moment. So I really like how this kick drum is sounding already. It's got a level of kind of depth, warmth, and width that I wanted to emulate in this song. I really wanted this song to be a garage soul song, kind of Delta blues meets psychedelic funk. All right, let's move on. Actually, let's talk about the kick chain real quick too. Let me show you. Back to my document because it's so well done. Pat myself on the back. It's because it's good. I did a good job, man. So on the kick here, look at this. Got a table of contents. Boop. On the kick drum, the tape is going later in the chain. We're starting out with the NLS. Again, the Nevo 1073, right? We're just pushing it through the console a little bit to get a little transformer weight and forward punch and mid-range before shaping. We're also using subtractive EQ only on the kick drum. I'm doing a very, very light subtractive EQ, about 20 here, because I want it to sound really yummy. I don't want to take away too much of the weight here. And this is something that you kind of, well, I've noticed that going forward, sometimes you have to kind of go back and either push that up, push it back. Mostly I want these drums to sound musical and to breathe. I'm trying not to clamp them down too hard. So again, we're using the Puig Child 670. Let me get this back up here. And if you'll notice too, something I am experimenting with is leaving the kick drum in mono. Yeah. Snare was recorded mono, so I left it in mono. But we are going out to a stereo drum bus. So this is going to be interesting because what I notice in a lot of early soul and funk records is the drums really take up that center. Even if they're panned a little bit, they're very mono sounding. So this is actually perfect for what I'm doing. And we're only trying to get about 1 to 2 dB gain reduction on the Puig Child. Very light stuff here. And then we're adding tape. Same formula, 811, 15 IPS. Only the bias we're going with nominal because we want this to sound thick. And we're also softening the attack a little bit to try to get that. I notice a lot of times in the kick drum, it's like you're sitting in the room with the drummer and you can almost hear the air being pushed through the kick drum, like, coming out the little hole of the drum head on the other side. Pretty cool shit. Tonal EQ, we'll come back around to that. Right now I'm just trying to get all the way up to tape. Tonal EQ is something I will do after I balance the tracks. All right, and then we'll see on snare, we've doing this pretty much the same chain. We're doing console, same thing, trying to get the vintage bite and harmonic weight, subtractive EQ, about 80. I did notch out a little bit around 35K. Puig Child, pretty much same setting. Time constant switches up a little bit. On the snare, I went with 3. I went with the slower time constant because, again, I wanted it to stay musical, not too snappy and short. And then we have tape, right? And then the hi-hat, same. We're doing the bus, NLS bus, subtractive EQ, Puig Child, tape, and then we're waiting on the tonal EQ. And again, I opted to run the hi-hat through the mix bus, and the reason why is because it is constant through this song, and it's a driving force in this song. So I really wanted to make sure that I could have maybe an opportunity to sculpt it a little differently outside of the drum bus. Okay, Well, I'm going to pull this back up and we're going to move on to bass. And I will show you what that looks like here. And also, I am using, as you can see, I put a note to myself, try mono mix bus. I'm leaving the mix bus of bass also in mono. And I have not started the chain on this, so let's get going. Now, the bass. Bass is part of that roux, right? This is just the ground, the beginning of our gumbo stew. And I felt like it was so fitting because of the Delta bluesy kind of vibe this song is carrying. Okay. Now, the reason I also like to do a bass bus, even though I've only got, a singular bass track, is it gives me options for automation later. And also, if I wanted to, I could add an amp right on the bass track. Usually I do an aux send to an amp. But in this case, I'm not sure I'm going to be doing that because there is a setting in the Universal Audio Pultec EQ-P1A that's called Jamer's Son. And y'all who know the Funk Brothers, who are in the know, will know. Y'all know who Jamerson is. Y'all know who they're talking about. And you can't get a better bass tone, in my opinion, than Jamerson. So I have those settings written here so that I can also use that in the tonal EQ. In Logic EQ. Let's get to it. All right. We're going to start with, on the bass, we're going to start with the NLS console. In this case, it's going to be the NLS bus mono. We're going to Nevo that puppy, and we're going to put this around. See what we got here. I mean, you can hear just already. It just gives it a little more weight. It's awesome. Okay. And the waves. Yep, great. I just wanted to make sure. We're going to use the waves HEQ. When it comes to subtractive EQ, I like to use a graph EQ. I need the visual myself. And as you can see right here, you've got an analog option. I just go with the US vintage. And subtractive EQ on the bass, we're going to start at 30. See where that gets us. We might have to loosen that up a little bit. And then, let's see here. Now, okay, this is what I did my last session. I'm going to try it here. Even though we're in a subtractive EQ mode, I'm going to boost, I think, before the compression, a little bit of 87 hertz and 900 hertz. I got a great sound doing it this way last time, so let's see if we can get that to happen again. And around 2.5K, we're going to take this down to about 1 dB. I should probably punch that in. And then, so around 87 hertz right here, we're going to boost this at 5.25 dB. I know, sounds extreme. Let's see what happens. And then around 900 hertz here, we're going to boost this about 2.15. Yeah, yeah, it needed that. But I'm going to keep the slider here. I pointed like you can see me. I want to keep it around minus 13 dBFS. Hi, right on the 13. Hey, what's up? All right, now on this base, we are going to add J37 tape. All right, formula 811, which we're doing pretty much across the board. Saturation 2 to 3. I'm going to go about 2.6. We're going to leave the bias at nominal. We're going to do a little bit of wow and flutter here. Wow, about 0.2. Not much, because all this is going to kind of yeah, and I want that hitting a little between minus 10 to minus 5 right now. That's all I want. I don't want it to be too smeary. I'm going to push that up, the out. I want that dBFS around 12. Setting up for the works for me for the compression. Now, having heard the kick drum already with the bass, I don't think we're going to have to add a compressor for any ducking for the kick. We're going to use waves. Don't be freaked out. They call it the 660 in mono. So it's the 670. Time constant about 2. Just want it like kissing minus 1 dB. There we go. And because it's the verse, I'm just pulling it down a little bit more. We're going to leave it with one. We're going to leave it with one compressor right now and see how this does us. I'm not going to decide yet on if there needs to be a second compressor or parallel compression or anything like that yet. First, I'm just going to trying to get this up to this point so I can start balancing the tracks. That's all we're doing. We're going to go ahead and we're going to go over to the vocals. And we're going to pull this trim back in. this between 15 and 12 into the HEQ. Let's make sure. Yeah, we got that going. And the subtractive EQ on the lead vocal, about 60 to 80. We're going to do 60. I don't want it to thin it out too much at the moment. That's all we're doing. And then tape. All right. Now, we have also on here a improv bus that I'm just going to, after I get this done, I'm just going to option hold and drag it over, duplicate it. I have no idea what I want to use from this improv bus yet, so I'm just going to get it in place after we do this. So next, let's get our tape happening. I went nominal on this, 811. Do 7/5 on this, on the vocal. Yeah, 7/5. And actually, I can't remember if I had tape on this or not when I recorded it. I may not even need it. Hold your tongue, your judgment time. If I even lift me. You know what? We're going to leave this off for right now, because I'm pretty sure I recorded that with tape. All right. Now I can see that I was using the Universal Audio 670 here, or the LA2A, actually, that's a lie. But we're going to go ahead and go with the waves. .670, Puke Child 670. All right, time constant 2. Hold your tongue, your judgment time. If I even lift me up, got my voice raise it up. Oh, raise it up. Oh, raise it up. Hold your tongue, your judgment time. If I even lift me up, got my voice raise it up. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. Again, we're just going to go with one compressor on the vocals. I'm trying to do a simplified, not as much on the chains as much as possible. Now, if I, for some reason, I'm like, God, what is what is this lead vocal missing? What do I need? Do I need to smear those transients a little bit more? I'll come back and probably add tape in the right order. And now let's get over to the Holy Trinity, which I consider the harmony bus, the lead vocals, and that guitar riff to be the Trinity, the Holy Trinity of this song. And if you're not familiar with the Holy Trinity of the Gumbo, it is celery, onion, and garlic. So, oh no, it's not. There's green pepper in there. I think I get that wrong every time. Don't quote me on that. I think that's my Holy Trinity for cooking. All right, same idea with the backing vocals. Hold your tongue, your judgment now. I really just want to get it to a point where they're right in. attractive EQ also, about 80. We're going to do 85. Just a little bit of difference from the lead vocal, just a little bit. And between 2 and 3K, I want this warmth back. So I'm not taking anything out around the 400 area. If it's a little spitty, but right now I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to try to keep this as clean as possible. Now the backing vocals are the original backing vocals, and I know for sure that I did not record them through tape. So I am going to apply the J37 tape on this with formula 811, IPS 7.5. Bias is going to stay nominal. Saturation 2 to 3. So let's just pull this down a bit to about 2.6. I don't know why that is like that. Let's fix that. To about 0.3 here. Oh, because I did the preset of backing vocals here, which can work sometimes. But I'm going to keep going with the whole point is to make sure that I've got this PDF dialed in to where it needs to be. What the heck? Zero two. Come on, me. I know I should probably be just punching this in. How boring to just watch me try to freaking get the dial to line up. All right. Making sure these are off. Yeah, make sure that's off. Yes, very good. All right, I got that rolling on the Buick Child. Time constant 3, so they can breathe a little bit more, be a little more loosey-goosey. Mains at 50 hertz. So yeah, we're just basically lowering the gain reduction on the compression. Maybe I to say it like a compression, to keep them nice and breathy and the phrasing intact. Yeah. Let's see if I missed that on the lead vocal as well on the compression. Yep, I'm supposed to do that the same. Great. Okay, Backing vocals, lead vocals are done. I'm just going to option hold this stuff over to the second improv bus. Okay, let us get now to the guitars. Now, I'm going to treat there's this lick. I'm going to play you the new one and also the original one. So, yeah. So I'm keeping this one separate. This girl over here is going to be separate, so she can be nice and dirty, and also I can pan her separately, or I can put them together, just depending on how this is going to come together once we start balancing and mixing. So let's start here with this guitar lick. I just wanted to give it a little more gain. So we're going to start again. I don't know why that's channel. Let's get the bus. There we go. Nevo. All right. So on this, we are going to drive this console between 5 and 6 here. Just gain staging a little bit. Now, I don't remember if I did this through tape or not on this guitar, to be honest. So we're going to skip this for now. Or we're going to run it just a little bit through the tape. Yeah. And anyway, that's not where the tape's going to go. Tape is going to come down here for a minute. We're going to do a little subtractive EQ first. Then we'll do compression. Then we'll do tape. Very good. All right, let's also turn on US Vintage. Subtractive EQ about 100. That's good. That works for me. We want to, there's really not, this is a pretty rounded sounding guitar, so I'm not going to do anything around this 4K area, 3 to 5K area, because that's where the presence for guitar is. I have no idea what I was doing here, so let's just put this back to 0. And we are going to do a little for presence. Let's do around, let's see, around 2K. If we can just notch that up just a little bit. We're going to go 1 dB. Very subtle here. It does compound though after time. And Puke Child. good. Also, I am soloing now just because I need to save my ears from the drums and the bass bombardment. And I just really want to make sure I'm not overdoing anything and get some things set properly. So, time constant 3. Yes, that is very good. This is way too high. Yeah, so we're doing a time constant at 3 on this just to let that bloom a little, you know? Now, on this particular instance on the lead guitar, we are going to put tape after the tonal EQ. So we're going to wait on this tape only if we need that analog kind of warmth and richness after we start balancing and getting the basically the tonal EQ done. Just wanted to bring that bass down because we're already starting pretty high up there. All right, let's get to rhythm guitars. Oh, and also we're just going to option drag over to this one, 2. Now, this one is probably definitely going to need some tape. Was not recorded with tape, so I'm going to go ahead and put the tape before somehow or other I lost my manual. I did. What the hell? What the hell, manual? There you are. I don't know where it went. I don't know why it disappeared like that. That was odd. Get some things out of the way. Okay. All right. So, right. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Let's start from the top here. Yeah, this guy is definitely going to need a little bit, I'm going to have to amend this a little bit here. Better. high pass filter this, about 80. I'm treating this more like a rhythm guitar than I am the lead because it needs to be warmed up. That's good. About 15 is going to work. We'll just go ahead and drag the EQ over from when we're ready for that. Okay. The rhythm. Now. Yes. I've decided to treat these separately also because, and not use this as a bus, because you'll hear these are very different parts. And I may want to be able, I might want to pan them. Actually, I probably could. They're not that different except for when it gets down here. Kind of very similar. Okay, I lied. Put it back on the bus. Let's put these back on the bus. Back on the bus. It'll save us some CPU, and also I can still pan them. I was just being silly. I was just basically making myself extra work. Oh, utility, that's what I want, is a gain stage plug-in there. All right, let's see what we got. It's kind of a different version of a very common blues rhythmic lick. I want it where it's a little. Let's go here. It's kind of sloppy, isn't it? The playing, but I love it because when it's all together, it works. It's very loose. It's very humble pie faces. I can Tina Turner. I love it. I love it. All right, so we're going to start with the console on this. I don't know why that's a channel as well. You need the bus, please. Waves and LS bus. Niveau, please. Thank you very much. And we're going to set this dry between 4 and 5. I just want to get this up a little closer to 15. There you go. And then we're going to do a little subtractive EQ here. Again, if you're just joining, I am basically taking this mix manual that I've put together and I am just trying to treat all the mix buses like a deck of cards. Just boom, 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 all the way up to tonal EQ, get things dialed in, balance the tracks, then come back and start honing in on the tonal qualities of the instruments. I've already done the mix bus. I always start with the mix bus. I like top-down mixing, so this is kind of what I'm doing. As you can see, I'm working off the buses, off all the instruments. If something is sticking out really bad, let's say on a channel, then I'll go back and treat that. But generally, not. I try not to get too precious and too detailed. You know, it's this kind of music to me, you gotta let some of the noise come through, gotta let some of the character come through. All right, let's put this in US vintage. Subtractive EQ 80, that's great. All right. These are pretty warm guitars already. All right, we're just going to do this high pass filter right now. Now we're going to do the Waves Puig Child 670. Time constant 2. It's good. About 1 to 3 dB here. Great. I just want it to hit, kind of be bumping up against 3. All right, and we got a little tape here. 811, 7.5 nominal. Saturation between 3 and 4. Great. I'm going to push it a little bit. These definitely were not recorded through tape, so that's why I'm adding tape to this. All right, I'm good with that for now. Yes, there definitely needs some tonal EQ to be addressed, but like I said, this is my new process that I got pretty good results from my last mix. So let's make sure we save this so we don't lose anything. So I just want to keep going on this process, which is basically we are doling out kind of like a deck of cards. Like let's just go through all the mix buses. Let's get everything established up into tonal EQ, then start balancing, then start adding the tonal EQ. That's how I've been doing it, and that's how I like it. That's how I like it. All right, so we got a percussion bus here for tambourine and shaker. I just want to get these plugins out of here for now. It might be that I'll have to come back and do a little individual channel stuff for that. And actually, you know what? I'm going to move on over here to the whirly bus first. And so you can see, this is my manual. This is all of my settings that I used for my last song. This is what I've found to be, got me to that kind of late 60s, early 70s Stax Atlantic Records vibe. So this is what I'm using from now on. I just finished this up last month. I'm very excited about it. It is on my website for sale, but I've also got the secret sauce over there. So tell me what your favorite soup is. Comment below and I will give you the link for it's a little subtractive EQ, little graph with some overviews of mixed chains. All right, whirly bus. Let's see what we got here. Now, this I just did recently, and I had so much fun. I'm going to go to the end on this where there's a lot going on here. So I'm going to take off all these EQs. This is Logic's whirly that I used a sound that I used a MIDI keyboard to create these parts with. So that's why all the EQs were sitting there. Great, 15 is perfect. Right, and then we're going to start with the console. With Nevo, we're going to push this between 4 and 5. I might push it a little bit more just because it is technically a digital. Good. And then we're going to do a little subtractive EQ. I like Waves HEQ. I like a graph EQ, but I like it because on this analog button down here, you see you have these options. US Vintage, UK, US Modern. I usually go with the US Vintage. We're going to do a high pass filter around 90. Do a little dB reduction around 35, 3.5K, just where it gets a little barky, you know? Again, not trying to make too many decisions about EQ right now, just really trying to make sure I don't have too much low end buildup in my project. That's really it. We will get to all of the tonal EQ after we balance. Oh, and I forgot about the clav. Ooh, the sexy clav. We're going to do this about time constant 3 so they can really bloom nicely. Yeah, perfect. We'll leave it there. We're going to add some tape for sure on this. We're going with Formula 11, 7.5, a little more warmth. actually. Let's see. I like the 15. All right, that works for me. Saturation about 2 to 3. We're not going to do any wow and flutter because it's already got that lovely tremolo. I'm going to go with nominal. All right, that works for me. Let's just put the EQ here. No, not worried about it right now. Okay, the clav. I'm going to leave that amp on. I kind of like what it's doing. Let's see. This is an old chain. Let's see what we got once we add like the console and stuff here. As a matter of fact, let's just grab you from over here from this whirly. I'm just going to option hold and drag this stuff over because it's pretty much the same chain. I'll just adjust it. All right, so tape. Great. Yeah, I want definitely to warm up there. Works. Trying to get this to hit about 1 to 2 dB. Perfect. Mains are off. All right, let's see what we get with tape. We are with the DBFS. All right, that works for me. Let's save this. Let's see how it sounds all together. All right, we're so close. Let's get this percussion bus happening. And we're off to the races on balancing. We'll just drag you down here. And we'll just do this. Pow. And then we'll dial it in. Where do you keep going? Stop it. Jerk. I keep losing my manual. Doesn't seem to like for me to pull this over, I guess. All right, console 3 to 4. Let's turn this off. Take this high pass filter up to about 100. Now on this, I'm going to keep this to, come on. I know it seems like I'm doing a little bit of extreme subtractive EQ on some of this stuff, but what I have found is that trying to get closer to a really warm analog sound in a digital setting, this has just been getting me closer to it than doing very, very small tweaks. That's what I have found. I could be wrong. Give this. Now here we are going to do about 1. We want this to be nice and tight. That works. Let's put a little tape on that. Okay, so as you can see, we have got the chains set for everybody. Let's make sure I'm not missing anything. We've got the rhythm guitars, the licks, lead vocal here, the improvs. We're not worried about those yet. Harms. Here's my universal mono and stereo reverb, mono and stereo delay. Bass. Crash is only at the beginning of the song, so let's handle that real quick. As a matter of fact, okay, I'm not even worried about the crash right now. I think I'm going to just run a little console and take a look at compression just to see what it's doing and not really worry about it too much. So let's give you a little bit of that. Let's give you a little bit of this. That's fine. And then let's just put a little tape on it too. I didn't realize I did the... Let's grab it from the percussion brush. I didn't realize I used GarageBand. Yeah. Oh, this is in mono. Never mind. Huh. Okay. Interesting. Just grab you. Okay. All right, so now we do have all the, I just copied on the lead vocal improvs. Okay. All right. We got a little bit of reverb running off the mix bus here, and you can see I've got the mix bus chain pretty simplified. I put the HEQ just so I can see, well, clearly not on this. This must be old. We're gonna reset it just so I can see how things are looking. Yeah, just so I can see how the overall tone is shaping up of the project. All right, so shall we do this? I think we should. Let's start balancing. I need a minute. If you're just joining the chat, I'd love to know who you are. Give me a holler. Tell me your favorite soup. Today is all about the Soul Kitchen, and this particular soup we are making today is a gumbo. We got a little Delta blues. We got a little psychedelic funk happening here. And yeah, I will let you hear some more of this. So that's what we're dealing with. We got a lot of little moving parts here, and as a matter of fact, I think I'm going to pull it up on the chorus. All right, let's go ahead and get, we're going to Command A. We're going to Command A in the project. Command A. What's happening? There we go. And we're just going to drag all the sliders down. Pink. Now we're going to have to go through all of the buses. This is how I do it. If you have a better way, please do let me know. Now I'm going to go grab all the buses using, and all the, I'm holding Command basically. And this is an individual track of the guitar lick that does not belong in a bus, because it's a completely different tonality to the guitar. And I might want to treat it completely differently. So I like to have that option. Lead vocal bus. I'm going to grab all the buses and pull them up to 0. And then we're going to start working on hi-hat. Is also not going to the drum bus on this particular instance because it is so prevalent in the song. I didn't want to be fighting trying to grab the tone via the drum bus, if that makes sense. Sorry, I was just confused for a minute about where my snare was going. All right. A clavinet, it's its own channel. Whirly bus. Of course, the mix bus. Master. And this guy. All right, let's pull you all up to 0. This one too. All right, let's start. I forgot to bring up the bass. So basically, I'm just bringing up the mix reverb. I've got a mono reverb and a stereo reverb on the mix bus. I've got a valve plate for the mono reverb, and for the stereo, I'm not really even sure. Large plate. May not be the best option, but I'm liking it okay right now. So, and I'm just feeding it a little bit anyway. Freaking me out. No one gets alive, boy. Don't you know? Ooh, no, come on. Erase from your mind all the bad that's been done to you, all the good things you done. No one gets alive, boy. Don't you know? Ooh, no, come on. Erase from your mind all the bad that's been done to you. Yeah, that just added something to the lead vocal, so I'm glad I put the tape on that.
No one can tell a lie, erase from your mind all the bad that's been done to you, all the good things you. No one can tell a lie, erase from your mind all the bad that's been done to you. No one can tell a lie, erase from your has been done to. No one can tell a lie, erase from your mind all the bad that's been done to you, all the good things you. No one can tell a erase from your mind all the bad that's been done to you, all erase from your mind all the bad that's been done to you, all the good things you. No one can tell a erase from your mind all the bad that's been done to you, all the good things you. No one can tell a no one can tell erase from your mind all the bad that's been done to you, all the good things you. No one can
Huh.
erase from your mind all the bad that's been done.
Where is my, okay. Where did you go? What the hell? Seriously. Where are you? Did I do something here? Did I freeze you somehow? Oh boy.
Lift me up, got my voice, raise it up.
I just had it. What happened to it? What in the world? 18? My mix bus. What is happening? Okay. Oh. This is a stereo track. But I've put in all mono. No, just the gain. Hey, there we go. Huh. No idea why. Oops. What in the hell? I have no clue as to where this went. None. That is not cool. Oh, because you're going out to bus 13. Who's 13? Okay. What in the what? Wait a minute. No, this is channel 13. Hold up, buttercup. The hell's 13? 15. Oh, well, this is a mystery. This is not a bus. This is by itself, really. 18. What the hell? Wow. Mystery. Not solved. Huh. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure this out. I have no idea what just happened to my... I don't even see a 13 anywhere. Oh, this happens sometimes. It's a friggin' mystery, though. I'll tell you what. Why? Alright, this is what I'm going to do. Save a copy. What in the hell happened? Alright, well, I guess I'm going to hop off and go figure this out. So thanks for watching with me so far. That's a real bummer because that's a very integral part of this song. That is wild. I lost my clav. Huh? I lost my funky clav.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's alright.
is it?
Huh?
Is it?
I don't know what's going on. I can't quite figure it out.
Has any sparks come out of anything yet?
No, so far so good. Plus 18, 23, there you are. There's no 13.
Oh, hi. I'll give you a hug. Give you a spanking too.
I have no idea.
You go get a spanking. It's so cold outside.
Okay.
It's so cold outside.
All right, guys. Well, I will be back once I solve the mystery of where the hell my clav went. Hopefully this has been helpful so far. Okay, I'll be back.